Have you ever seen someone in their late 90s, wrinkles deep like folded cloth, back slightly bent, and wondered how are they still standing, still smiling when so many others are gone? It's not just luck. It's not just good genes. It's the way they begin each morning, because those who live past 95 don't live by chance. They live with quiet intention, and it starts with one simple habit, practiced every morning. Like a silent ritual, there was a man in our neighborhood when I was young, old enough to be forgotten by time, yet sharp and calm like an early morning breeze. Every single day at dawn, he'd step out with his cup of coffee and just stand there. No phone, no newspaper, no talk, just stillness. He didn't rush into the day. He waited for it, and somehow, it seemed like time waited for him too. At the time, most people overlooked him, assuming he was just an old man stuck in routine. But later in life, I began to understand what he knew. After retirement, after the noise of work had faded, mornings became louder in a different way. Blood pressure cuffs, pill reminders, the quiet ache in your joints, the rush to start breakfast, check the news, get things done. And that's when I started asking, is this how the longest living people begin their day? With noise, with stress? The answer was no. Morning habit number 1: 10 minutes of stillness, no distractions, no conversation, no multitasking, just you and the morning. Not meditation, not even prayer, unless it flows naturally. Just stillness, a quiet chair, a window with soft light, the breath rising and falling in your chest. Science now backs what the old ones already knew. Stillness lowers cortisol, reduces inflammation, eases blood pressure, and according to a Japanese longevity study, increases life expectancy when practiced daily. But forget the data. This is about something deeper. When you sit in silence each morning, you send a message to your body. I'm not in a race. I'm here, I'm alive, and I'm listening. I remember the first time I tried it. Just 10 minutes. No sound, no scrolling. I sat in my chair, warm cup in hand. The air was still. A bird landed on the fence. The sunlight touched the corner of the curtain, and I breathed. After 10 minutes, I felt something I hadn't felt in years. Not excitement, not inspiration, but peace, because in that moment, I realized how long I had rushed through life, rushed through mornings, rushed through time. And all this time, the answer was waiting in the silence. Stillness doesn't fix your problems. It doesn't erase your past, but it anchors you. And those who live the longest are anchored, not scattered. If you're over 60, 70, maybe even 80, you don't need another life hack. You need something sacred, simple, and real. So tomorrow morning, try this. Don't turn on the television. Don't check your phone. Don't even talk. Just sit by a window, in a chair, on your porch. If the weather allows, 10 minutes. Breathe. Watch the light. You don't need to think about anything. You don't need to achieve anything. Just be still, because people who live past 95, they don't begin their day in a rush. They begin it with respect. They don't chase time. They honor it. And when you do that, something inside your heart slows down too. Something opens. And maybe, just maybe, you'll start to feel like life isn't slipping away. It's waiting for you to catch up. Some mornings, the stiffness hits before your eyes even open. The knees ache. The back resists. The fingers feel slow and unfamiliar. And in that moment, it's tempting to lie still and let the day pass by. But the people who live past 95, they do something different. They move, not fast, not far, but with intention. And what they do in those first few minutes after stillness can decide whether they walk freely at 90 or struggle at 70. There's a rhythm to the bodies of people who've lived long lives. They don't leap out of bed. They don't force themselves into painful routines. They flow. After their quiet stillness, they begin their movement, not with heavy workouts or treadmills, but with something gentler, something sacred, a ritual of slow waking, of honoring the body that's carried them through decades. I've watched this with my own eyes. In neighbors, old friends, and quiet strangers in the park. They don't call it exercise. They call it loosening. And it begins with just 5 minutes. Morning habit number 2: 5. 10 minutes of gentle loosening. This isn't stretching in the way most people think. It's more waking up the forgotten corners of your body. Neck rolls, Slow shoulder circles, ankle rotations, opening the hands and closing them. Again and again, raising the arms like pulling sunlight into your chest. No equipment, no pain. Just slow, circular, forgiving movements. Some people do it seated, others stand beside a wall, or hold onto a chair. Some play soft music, others keep. It's silent, but they all do one thing the same. They breathe with it, long inhale, slow exhale, as if the breath is guiding the movement, not the other way around, and slowly, circulation returns, joints loosen. The fog in the head begins to clear, and something deeper happens. The body remembers that it is alive. I remember a morning, not long ago, when I woke up stiff and frustrated. Nothing dramatic, just the kind of slow, painful rise many of us know. I almost skipped the movement, told myself, not today, too cold, too tired, but I did it anyway. Just 5 minutes, seated, barefoot, wrists, ankles, shoulders, and something unexpected happened. I didn't just feel better physically. I felt proud, because I had chosen to show up for my body, not push it, not punish it, but greet it like an old friend, the way long-living people do. They don't wait until they feel good to move. They move gently. To feel good, you see. Our bodies aren't just flesh and bone. They hold memory. They carry emotion. Every morning we move them kindly. We send a signal deeper than muscle. I still care. I still believe in you. And that changes everything, because those who live to 95 and beyond don't fight aging. They partner with it. They move like elders who've earned their aches and learned how to soften them. So tomorrow morning, after your stillness, before you eat, before the noise returns, move slowly, gently. With breath, circle the wrists, lift the arms, roll the neck. Open your chest like the sun is pouring in. And if it hurts, go slower. If you feel tired, just do 1 minute, because people who live long don't do things perfectly. They do them consistently, and over time, the small movements become big medicine. You can stretch your body. You can sit in silence. But if you don't tend to your heart, your mornings will still feel empty. Because the people who live past 95 don't just survive with routines. They anchor their spirit, and in this final habit, often invisible to others, lies the quiet strength that carries them through grief, loneliness, and the fading years. Let's be honest, aging can feel like loss. The faces around the table start to disappear. Phone calls grow fewer. You wake up and realize there's more behind you than ahead. And if you're not careful, that realization can harden your heart. You start to feel like you're only existing, waiting, fading. But those who live past 95, and not just in years, but in peace, do something every morning that softens that weight. They reconnect to meaning. Sometimes it's quiet gratitude. Sometimes it's remembering someone they loved. Sometimes it's talking to a photo frame, or to God, or just to themselves. But they all do one thing. They pause each morning and say something from the soul. Morning habit number 3. Speak to something greater than yourself. This doesn't have to be religious. It doesn't have to be poetic. And no one ever needs to hear you. But before breakfast, before news, before noise, they speak from their heart. Some give thanks. Some ask for strength. Some simply whisper, "Thank you for another day." And you know what it does? It gives the day a why. Because if all you do is wake up, take pills, eat, and sit, you'll slowly start to believe your life has no direction. But if, even for 30 seconds, you say something like, "I'm grateful to still be here. I forgive what I can't control. I hope someone I love is smiling today," suddenly, your life feels connected again. There was a stretch in my early 70s when I stopped doing this. I'd sit in silence. I'd stretch and move, but I wouldn't speak. Not out loud, not in my heart. I told myself it didn't matter, that those words were pointless. But slowly, I began to feel heavier. Mornings felt mechanical. I woke up, but I didn't feel alive. Then one day, I sat down in silence like I always did. But this time, I looked out the window and said, under my breath, "I miss you." I wasn't even sure who I was speaking to. Someone I'd lost. Or maybe just the version of me that used to feel whole. But in that whisper, I felt seen. Even if no one else was listening, that was the morning everything changed again. You see, people who live long, they aren't untouched by grief. They've buried friends. They've lived through wars, disappointments, regret, guilt. But what keeps them going is this. They let the soul speak in the morning, not for others, not for performance, but to stay soft inside, because once your spirit hardens, it doesn't matter how fit your body is, but if your soul stays tender, grateful, connected, your years stretch wide with meaning. So tomorrow morning, after your silence, after your gentle movement, say something to the sky, to your memories, to God, even if it's just, thank you for one more day. Because people who live past 95, they don't just keep moving, they keep feeling, they keep thanking, and maybe that's the real secret. If this touched your heart, take a moment right now and comment below. May we live long, with peace in our hearts, or simply write, thank you, God, because even a small prayer, whispered from an aging soul, can echo through the rest of the day.